Simple past statements, regular verbs. Simple past statements, regular verbs. Okay, let's try to do this one. Read the success story of Neil Armstrong. Okay, so you all know no? Neil Armstrong is the first person to land on moon, and he stayed on the moon for close to 2 hours, if I am not mistaken, right? So he is the first person to land on moon. Read the success story of Neil Armstrong. Complete the sentences with simple past form of the verbs in parentheses. So when you say parentheses, you all know within brackets. So there are verbs given within brackets. So we need to use the simple past form of these verbs to complete this article. Okay. Neil Armstrong is a famous American astronaut. Astronaut. Taraka Vidyatnik. Astronaut means Taraka Vidyatnik. Neil Armstrong is a famous American astronaut. As a boy, he lived. So this is within brackets. They have given the word live. So we have to use the simple past form because these sentences have to be written in the past tense because this is something that happened in the past. As a boy, he lived with his family in Ohio. Right? He lived with his family in Ohio. Young Neil, within brackets the verb love is given. So then the past form of the verb love, it has to be loved. Young Neil loved airplanes. He and his father visit, what is the past form? Visited the airport many times. He and his father visited the airport many times. There he watch is the verb. So what's the past form? Watched. He watched planes take off and land. He watched planes take off and land. During high school, Neil worked. What is the past form? Worked. He worked to make money for flying lessons. He worked to make money for flying lessons. He, within brackets, the verb receive is given, and we need to use the past form of the verb receive. Past form of the verb receive is received. He received his private pilot's lessons when he was 16 years old. When he was 16 years old, he received his private pilot's license. Private pilot's license when he was 16 years old. At that time, Neil space within brackets they have given not learn. Okay. At that time, didn't learn. No, not in the sense in the past tense. When you write in the negative, you have to use didn't learn. So if you use didn't, you have to write the verb in the simple present tense. If you use didn't, you have did or didn't, you have to remember the verb has to be written in the simple present form. Okay, simple present form, or else we say base form. Learn is the base form. So the verb has to be written in the base form. Didn't learn to drive a car, but he learned. Learn, what is the past form? Learn. He learned to fly a plane, but he learned to fly a plane. Okay. In 1962, Neil and many other people applied to NASA to be astronauts. Okay. In 1962, Neil and many other people applied to NASA to be astronauts. Astronauts means Taraka Vidyatnik, who study about the universe, right? NASA within brackets not accept. Okay, not accept. Then we have to write this in the negative. Then didn't accept. So this is something that you need to clearly remember. Since we have used didn't, the verb has to be written in the base form. But here you can see applied means the verb is written in the past form. But if you use didn't, then the verb has to be written in the base form. NASA didn't accept everyone, but they accepted Neil. So you all can see accept is the verb and the verb is written in the past form. But here, since we use we didn't write the verb in the past form, we wrote the verb in the base form. Didn't accept everyone, but they accepted Neil. In 1966, Neil traveled, within brackets they have given the word travel. What's the past form of the verb travel? Traveled. Neil traveled into space for the first time on Gemini 8. Okay, into space for the first time on Gemini 8. In January of 1969, good morning, Babu. In January of 1969, NASA ask is the verb that is given within brackets, so we have to use the past form of the verb asked. Okay, NASA asked Neil to be the commander of Apollo 11. Okay, NASA asked Neil to be the commander of Apollo 2. Okay, the first mission to the moon. Okay, Apollo 2 is the first mission to the moon. Finally, on July 20th, 1969, Apollo 2, within brackets they have given the word land, so we have to write the past form, because in 1969 means it's way back in the past. Okay, so landed, past form of the verb land is landed. Finally, on July 20th, 1969, Apollo 2 landed on the moon. When Neil, within brackets they have given the word return, so we have to write returned. When Neil returned home, the country, so within brackets they have given the word honor. The past form of the word honor is honored. The country honored him as a national hero. The country honored him as a national hero. Right. So didn't means that's the past form. Okay, didn't, that's the past negative form. Didn't accept. The verb has to be in the present form, not the present form. I have to say base form. Didn't accept. Okay, when you use didn't is the negative form in the past, and the verb has to be written in the base form. So here also you can see didn't learn. Didn't is the past negative, and the verb is written in the base form. Didn't learn.